Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity Orlando. Our opening statement this morning is, I am thankful for my life and grateful to receive all the good God has for me. Let's all affirm that together. I am thankful for my life and grateful to receive all the good God has for me. All right, let's all close our eyes, take a nice deep breath in. Let's affirm that together in the silence. And so it is. Now, if you'd like to join us, please stand and we'll sing our joy song this morning. Seems to be one of the favorites around here. It's the Lightworkers Greeting Song. What if before we were born, we chose a life to live? What if before we shared, we chose a life to give away truth today, and hear the angels say, we all let love lead the way. We all let love lead the way. We all let love lead the way. What if before we could breathe, we chose to speak of love? What if before we could sing, we chose to be one of all the voices of an angel's choir, singing wisdom and our heart's desire, speaking absolute truth and love. Speak of absolute truth and love. Speak of absolute truth and love. What if we were God's love, living in God's love? What if the Christ in me has set my spirit free? And I realize what I hoped is true. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you.
Good morning.
And welcome to Unity Orlando. We're really glad to have you guys here and you there as well at home. My name is Reverend Ronnie Kenny, and I'm your assistant minister here at Unity Orlando. We have a few announcements today. Nothing super brand new. Looking around, no visitors at this service here right now. So just a reminder, midweek prayer and meditation continues on Wednesday afternoons, 4:30 on Facebook. Then they're later posted on Facebook as well as on our homepage as well under meditations. So it's just something you can check it out at any time. And a reminder, of course, Orange County regulations requires us to wear masks when we're in church. So while we're down there, you all already have yours on. We'll have ours back on too in a few moments, just so that you at home know that we are taking precautions, not just to comply, but to be safe and be sure everyone feels safe. So come back when you're ready. Reverend Bob's lesson this morning is taking responsibility. But before we invite him up here, we'll turn back over to the music department and Brian. Thank you.
All right, well, just like every other week, this is the new song of the week. I just sat down the other day and it just all came out. It's called Spirit Shows.
Better. In case you didn't hear that last statement, it was if I turn my microphone on, it works better. Hey, that was beautiful. That's wonderful. I'm glad that the creativity just continues to pour out of you, Brian. I have to write a new talk. You have to write a new song. Hey, it's the way it works. Are you enjoying the weather? Is it not stupendous? This is kind of intriguing. This is the way we have a tropical storm in November. Yeah, isn't that a riot? Yeah, and I understand it's going to get windier. Oh, I love the wind. Feels like spirit moving, like a river. Got it. Okay. You feel good this week? I do. We're fully into fall. We're feeling that weather, which is the reason why we came to Florida. Today, let's talk. The title is not that intriguing. Later, when I announced it last week, I said the title is Taking Responsibility. And I looked out at everybody, and I said, it's a good thing. And actually, it is. It's claiming freedom, any way you cut it. Taking responsibility. Today, we're going to talk about handling our unhappiness when life doesn't go the way we want it to. Fair enough? Anybody out there, every part of your life went exactly the way you wanted it to? No. There is a spiritual principle that goes like this. Only when you take responsibility for where you are in life, for what's going on right now, only when you take responsibility for where you are in life can you change it. Can you change it? When Ernest Holmes presented his 5 steps in a prayer treatment, the first one, the one everyone remembers, is to turn away from the problem, to not look at it, to look at the truth. But the first one is to look squarely at what you're dealing with, and then turn away from it. To take responsibility for what is happening and say, no more. We're going another direction. So how do you take responsibility for your life? Especially when life appears to have pushed us into places we didn't want to go. Well, it goes like this. It's the realization, it's my life. My consciousness has brought me to this point. Now that's a rough one. But here's the reason you're willing to go there. Therefore, I can change my consciousness and I can change my life. Until you take responsibility for it and say, this is my life, I'm the ruling agent here, you can't change it. If you blame someone else, you've given away your power. You say, but I didn't put myself in this position. Things happened that were beyond my control. So how can it be me who caused this? Say, I didn't say you caused it. I said you created it. That's different. Okay. What I'm saying is, well, let's look at it this way. We've all heard of the sin of commission and the sin of omission, right? Well, consciousness actually works that way. If we do certain things, we're going to create results. But then there are those things that we had nothing to do with. We didn't do anything to create it. And that's the sin of omission. That's the fact that there's an area of consciousness that this challenge will make us develop, that we need to develop. So, I'm not going to say it's your fault, but I am going to say it's your responsibility. It's your life. In the middle of the night, one animal was killing another animal outside. Let's put it that way. I live on several acres. I call it Wild Kingdom. The wild has tried to take it back from me. I try a little bit to keep control. But in the middle of the night, I'm out there and and I come out and I yell and everybody disperses and they quit killing each other. And I come back in declaring, this may be Wild Kingdom, but it's my Wild Kingdom. And that's what we need to declare about our life. You got one animal trying to kill another. It's time to say, it's my kingdom. It's my kingdom. If you blame someone else or something else, you say, I had no control of it. It's not my fault. It happened to me. There's nothing I can do about it. That is the problem. As soon as you blame someone else, there is literally nothing you can do about it to change your life. Now, we usually do play the blame game. That's the easy way. That's the low road, and it is the easy way to handle unhappiness. To figure out, he did this to me, she did this to me, it's their fault. Life stuck me in a corner, and I really have no other choice. I mean, my God, life did this to me. This group is destroying my life or destroying the world that I have to live in. Or, my favorite, I just never had the opportunity because, and then we come up with this wonderful excuse. I never got the opportunity. It was funny, whatever it was, over there. Okay. As long as you're going to claim an excuse, you're stuck. You're not free. You have to stay where you are. Because you gave your power away. You said, this has power over me. That has power over me. This controls my life. And as long as you believe that, game's over. You can't win. So my point is, excuses may be valid. Maybe somebody really did do that to you. Maybe it was circumstances beyond your control, and maybe not. But excuses may be valid or not, but excuses take your power away. Take responsibility. I don't know, I've spent a lot of time with people who had this down pat. They knew that they had no problem with failure as long as they knew who to blame. They would give lip service to success, but they prepared for failure immediately. They knew exactly who they were going to blame or what they were going to blame. It's her fault. It's not my fault. You know, there is an old movie that is so bad that I cannot even find it on the internet listed anywhere anymore. But it's something like Ernest Goes to Mars or something. You know, I mean, it is this really foolish, you know, person who can't do anything right who ends up on a team going to Mars. And I remember this scene because it hit me so hard. So I thought, boy, that just capsulizes humanity. Here they are, they've landed on Mars. The leader of the group is all prepared to take the first step onto Mars and to make his little speech that he's prepared for the first words spoken on Mars. And instead, this Ernest type character, he falls out the door onto the ground, and he's the first one on Mars. He looks up, and the first words spoken on Mars are, "It's not my fault." I thought, that's humanity. It's not my fault. I'm sorry. I digress. COVID or something else ruined my life. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I never had the opportunity because, quote, I didn't have the education. There was this obstacle in my way. I was born into this situation. I had this experience in my life long ago, and it's ruined my life ever since. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons. I never had the opportunity. Taking responsibility for your life when everything seems against you seems amazingly harsh. And it is. But it's the only way to escape to a better reality. This is my life. I created it, and I now can create something better. This may be Wild Kingdom, but it's my wild kingdom. Time to claim your power back. You cannot blame another person, a life situation, or even God for your unhappiness over anything. Not if you ever want to become happy again. It's time to say, I take responsibility for this. This is why leadership involves taking responsibility. You see these CEOs, they say, well, this happened, you know, it's something happened that they didn't directly do, but they say, I take responsibility. And I take that responsibility because it happened under my watch. They could have said, it's not my fault, they did it. But the moment he said, I take responsibility, he's saying, I am going to do something about it. I'm going to change it. You want to change the world? Take responsibility for how it is now. You say, but it's not my fault. And I'll say, you're absolutely right. It's not your fault. But it is your responsibility. There's a little bit of a difference. If you want to create a new reality, take responsibility for this one and realize consciousness creates reality. And I can work on a higher level and change my world. You say, but the world may not change around me. And I know a lot of people who live in really wonderful worlds while surrounded by worlds that haven't changed a lot. If you blame someone else for your troubles, you are never free. You're never free. Now, I'm going to share a story that actually is very personal to me. Maybe the most important thing I learned in the last 5 years. Let's start off by saying often our greatest lessons in life are delivered by our life partner, right? They become the teacher. And in my last marriage, the two of us came from very different places, quite frankly, and we had to bridge quite a gap to create a marriage. And we did a very good job of that for quite a long time. We raised a daughter and did a wonderful job of bridging that gap while we did. But as I approached my final, what I considered my final cycle in life, I realized that I was resenting her more and more because of my own spiritual failings. I was not accomplishing spiritually what I wanted to accomplish. What do I want? I want to go for the gold. And I thought, I need to spend the last cycle of my life in my world, not bridging a gap, not going to someone else's space. And so I was separated for 5 years before we made it legal. And the most important thing I learned during those 5 years was that Karen was not responsible for my failings. Karen wasn't holding me back. I need to take responsibility for me. And it was this realization that freed me up in a way I'd never been free for a long time. It was this realization that freed up my logjam so that taking responsibility for myself totally allowed the doors to open to a whole new realm and, quite frankly, a whole new, more wonderful reality. But as long as you're blaming someone else, you're not free. So here's my question to you. Who or what are you blaming for the places in your life that disappoint you? It's time to take responsibility. And like that CEO who says it happened under my watch, say, this is my life. I am responsible. And I am free to start altering my reality right now. You know, sometimes when you come to that conclusion, things don't actually have to change physically. Sometimes they do. A lot of times they do. But sometimes, if you just change the way you feel, you've changed your reality, even if the physical elements in your reality don't change at all. In Matthew 7, 1, 3, and 5, judge not that you may not be judged. Why do you see the splinter which is in your brother's eye, and do not feel the beam which is in your own eye? O hypocrites, first take out the beam from your own eye. Then you'll see clearly to get out the splinter from your brother's eye. We all want to know who's at fault. The first question is, what could I have done better? And until we grapple with that one, don't even attempt to say somebody else ruined my life. In John 21, 19 through 22, Jesus said to Peter, follow me. And Simon Peter turned around and saw the disciple who Jesus loved following him. When Peter saw him, he said to Jesus, "My Lord, what about him?" And Jesus said to him, "What is that to thee? Follow thou me." I mean, do you see what's going on? I mean, the master has called Peter. He's going to get his private time. And darn it, that little upstart is going to follow. And Jesus said, "Why are you looking at him? What is that to thee? Follow thou me." And when things go wrong in your life, when everyone seems to be demanding that things are going to go a different way than you wanted to go, what is that to thee? Be true to the Spirit within you. Don't worry about what the world is doing around you. Be true to the Spirit within you. So let's talk about some ways to take responsibility for your life and thus to begin to change your reality. We all could use a little upgrade in our reality, couldn't we? Number one, withdraw from the blame game. Take responsibility and free yourself. Declare, "This is my life, my consciousness created it, and I can change it. This may be wild kingdom, but it's my wild kingdom." People will say, but I didn't ever get an education. Do you understand that plumbers can make as much or more than corporate executives? There's more than one. Wow. What, these old things, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm pretty sure that's socially unacceptable today, right? John doesn't think so. Sorry. There's more than one way to do things. If one path to success is denied you, take another. Don't sit around moaning that the one was taken away. If you're facing obstacles to happiness, think outside the box. What are the ways I haven't considered doing my life? Take responsibility for how you feel and dwell on that which creates happiness in your life. There's always something going well. Dwell on it and say, "This consciousness creates my life, and I am going to keep my consciousness on the goodness, no matter how small it appears to be. I'm going to keep my attention on the goodness." And consciousness is going to create a reality that reflects that. So, withdraw from the blame game. Number two, learn from each mistake or failure, even when someone else seemed to cause it, when there is a clear excuse, when something happened and you really didn't have control over that. What did you have control over? Decide what you could have done or what you could do to avoid it next time. How can you handle it? Someone betrayed me. Well, how often have you heard someone say, "I should have seen that coming"? Next time you're going to see it coming. Okay? You're going to handle it better. You say, "But what happened to me is 90% somebody else's fault." Good. How can you change the 10? How can you use that little bit that is your piece in this situation in such a way that this ain't going to happen again? because you can. Everything that happens, there's a lesson. Even when someone else did something to you, how could you have handled it better? What is that to thee? Work on thyself. Change me, because that's how you change your life. Number 3, ask yourself, what am I doing in a space where this is real? I'm going to pause there. This is actually quoting, if not an exact quote, it's a quote of an idea presented in The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment. Okay? Which, from the beginning, has had a tremendous appeal to me. The title just captured me. And in it, at one point, it says, when things are crazy around you, don't look at the world and say how terrible and evil it is. Say, what am I doing in a place like this? What's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this? What's a nice boy like you doing in a place like this? You know? What am I doing in this reality? Because if consciousness creates reality, what am I doing here? And set out. Well, that's the second part, right? Then attach yourself to a higher consciousness that creates a higher reality. You can do that. You can center on joy, even as the world is falling apart around you. You can center on love. You can center on beauty. There's always a degree of those wonderful qualities in your life, even if you think they've shrunk to a small place. Where are you going to put your attention? Put your attention there and say, I claim the consciousness of a higher reality. What am I doing in a place like this? I need to work on me. That's how you take responsibility. The fourth one comes from a Bible verse. Say yes, yes, or no, no to what is in your life. Well, this is Matthew 5:37. Let your words be yes, yes, and no, no. For anything else is deception. Don't come up with excuses. Don't wander all over the place. This will be part of my life. This will not be part of my life. This may be wild kingdom, but you're not allowed to kill each other in the middle of the night, at least in a way that I can hear it. No. Yes. Declare what you want. I live in a life filled with love. I live in a life filled with joy. A life filled with beauty. Things always work out for me. Why don't you declare that? And keep declaring it. Say yes to things always work out to me. And no to the world is falling apart. Okay? Declare, this is my reality, this is my destiny. About what you want. And this is not my reality. This does not exist on the level where I live. People have often asked me about strange psychic experiences, everything from possession to weird things going on. And, you know, having been someone who actually did one exorcism in my life and was successful without training, They say, do you believe that's real? And I say, well, that's a trick question, actually. Everything you can think of is real somewhere within divine mind. Somewhere within some reality, it is real. But I don't live where any of that's real. I don't live there. And it's not part of my life. It's not real to me. Because I live on this level, not the level where it's functioning like that. So choose which level of life you're going to live on. Claim the good stuff. That's the level I live on. I've heard the other exists. I don't live there. The fifth one kind of is just straightforward as it's printed, quote, declare I am living the life that I created. That's how you take responsibility. I am living the life that I created, and I am going to appreciate the good in where I am and know this life is leading me to something greater. I take responsibility for where I am, and I attach my anchor to something greater. And that's my reality. So, taking responsibility. On one end, it seems harsh. And on the other, I can tell you from experience, it's the greatest blessing you can ever embrace. Because finally, you're free to have your life be yours. My life is mine. No one else am I to blame. My life is mine. And therefore, I can attach my goals to the heights. So let's take a few moments now to relax, to center ourselves, and to spend a little time in meditation embracing higher reality. Take a deep breath, sigh it out. The Master's words, judge not, that you be not judged. Take a moment to look at those that we have held responsible for the things that are happening in our lives that we're not happy about. It's time to let it go. It's time to quit saying it's your fault. Whether you as a person, a group, or a life experience. It's time to let it go and realize dominion. This is my life. My consciousness created it, and I can change it. For better or for worse, this is my life. And I have the right to attach it to something higher. So we look at the old life, the people that we've blamed, and we say, what am I doing in a space where this is real? I'm a spiritual being. I'm a child of the light. I'm a soul why am I so caught in this physical human drama? And we look at the drama and we declare, that's not where I live. All the things that have disappointed us, that's not where I live, not anymore. That's not part of the reality that I am creating. So feel the old life with its disappointments falling away. Let it go. And embrace that optimistic joy of what lies before you. Embrace the higher realms. Embrace the journey of your soul. Embrace your eternal spirit. I am in the earth. I am not of it. I am in the earth, but I am merely passing through. I am the child of God, the child of love and joy and beauty. I am the child of the higher realms. And I pass through this realm simply to let God's love shine through my heart upon the earth and make it a better place. I am of the celestial realms. And while I am living in this life, I realize the power of consciousness. And I realize that I've allowed myself to be in the space that I'm in. And where I am right now, I'm going to take responsibility for it, and I'm going to appreciate the good, the beauty, the love, the possibilities. I'm going to cradle it all in my heart. And I'm going to know consciousness is already moving to mold reality. And my destiny is higher ground. Father, for thy Spirit, which is the source of everything that I am, for thy blessings that as I see, I can open to and embrace, for the beauty of life all around me, and the glory of God ultimately shining through everything. Father, for this life that I live, I take responsibility. I love it. And I am grateful as it rises higher. Father, thy will be done through each and every one of us. Now, if the ushers will come forward, well, usher. We're still kind of, attendance is not quite up where it was. The usher will come forward, we'll prepare for our offering. For those of you online, you may be getting tired of hearing it, but for anyone who's joining in, I have to go through it. The way you give your offering is you go to the home page at the end of service, you hit the Donate Now button. There's one at the top and one at the bottom. We got you covered. Or you can pull the physical address off and mail us a check. You also can call the office and arrange for regular offerings if that's more convenient for you. Your offerings make a difference. They're what's going to carry us through until normality, which may be just a little while off yet. So thank you. You who are here and you at home for your support. Let's bless our offering together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. Thank you, God. Amen.
I didn't try to do anything, only tried to please. Seems like almost everything's bringing me to my knees. I tried to go real far away, not so good to do, 'cause maybe going won't bring me back to you. And there's a new horizon smiling just for me. It tried to make me stop crying, but it cured the blind to see. There's a new horizon waiting for me. I didn't give up, I didn't give in, I didn't have the strength before. But now that you know that you're the one bringing me to your door, so many times I cannot see, so many misunderstood. I'd like to grab hold and never let go, like to try if I could. And there's a new horizon smiling just for me. It tried to make me stop crying, but it cured the blind to see.
I got to tell you, sometimes it sends chills up my spine how close you can hit it with a song that you will end up the service with. Wow, that was great. Let's give them another round of applause. Okay, be safe, but always live your adventure. And thanks for being part of Unity Orlando. Let's see, next Sunday, Reverend Johannes will be speaking on, I wrote it down on the wrong set, divine or human. You're going to want to show up and figure out this differentiation. Anyway, she's a wonderful speaker. I know you'll want to be here next week to hear her. Well, let's all rise and join together in the prayer of protection. Together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you all. Goodbye to you at home.